positioning of, of what we call quote unquote smart money will typically be done right before, and then they'll look to distribute the orders across either direction. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to stop and kind of take my time. I know sometimes I can talk kind of fast. So just feel free to stop me at any point in time. We have 7 minutes here before equities open. How do you see order flow? So that's a good question. Obviously there are tools to do that. I don't really use any of those tools. But the way I see order flow is through imbalances, pretty much. Because I want you to consider this, right? Let's say I have a high. Let's say I have a classic. Sorry, that drawing is hideous. Let's say I just have a classic, swing point that we all love and we all, love to participate in. This is the classic swing point. Classic swing point. Can you give a one-sentence definition of original consolidation? The original consolidation was on a 15-minute time frame. Yes. So original consolidation to me is going to be a swing high. So for example, here with 2 failure swings next to it. Because the idea is that so if we're speaking in terms of liquidity, right? Like that I know majority of us kind of subscribe to that idea. If we're talking in terms of liquidity, how can I give a better drawing to this? So if we're talking in terms of liquidity, let's say we have a high here. And then somewhere along the line, this high gets swept, right? You want to see the formation of failure swings along the line formed within the retracement towards that internal level. Because the liquidity isn't necessarily going to be held above the highs that just got swept. It's going to be formed on the way down on that retracement and held within those failure swings. Right? What's up, Shub? So my eyes aren't always necessarily on the high itself of the external. My eyes are more so how many failure swings have we formed within this particular range that I can look to target. Yeah. So yeah, Richie. So for example, yesterday, I was using this as my original consolidation. So today's theme is kind of similar. But as you can see, we have a couple failures. We have a failure swing here, we have a failure swing here, right? Failed to take that high. That serves as my original consolidation. So now, this is kind of why I break it down into 2 variables, right? And some of you may have heard of, 2 variable models. Some of you may have not. But if I had to break down a market maker buy model or a market maker model to its barest bones, I would only really need 2 things. I just need the original consolidation, which is my draw, and then my order block. Right? Everything else is not that significant to me. I just need these 2 variables in order for me to frame what I need. And so what you'll come to realize is that I delete both of these, right? This looks like a market maker buy model. I know all of you or a majority of you can kind of visualize what that looks like. But if I had to split this in half, what you'll notice is that the opening prices on the sell side of the curve are going to seek to form highs. Right? The opening prices on the buy side of the curve are going to seek to form lows. So that means that on this side of the curve, I'm looking for open and low. On this side of the curve, I'm looking for open and high. And within that open to high, I then look for an order block. Within this open to low, I then look for an order block. That makes sense. So in this particular case, like if I had to outline, if I had to outline this example, if I had to outline in this example, the hourly opens, right? So 1 a.m., boom, open high. 2 a.m., boom, open high, etc., etc. So in this case, I'm using 6 a.m. open for my higher time frame open, which is the opening price that 9:30 is within. So now I'm observing kind of what we do with this opening price. Are we rejecting from it? Are we spending time below it? Are we spending time above it? And this will provide me the context that I need. So I know two things right now. I know that I'm below 6 a.m. open, I'm below midnight. And so this is kind of exactly where I want to be if I want to position myself for higher prices. Right? So I am exactly where I want to be. Now, if I plot an asset that has a positive correlation, I can then look, to further confirm, uh, or deny my ideas. So as you can see here, we have ES took that high. Not a big fan of, but also keep in mind that ES does trade with more volume and dollar volume. So predominantly, ES is typically the one with the reins, as NQ can sometimes follow. And so it's important to have a context for an SMT, right? Because if you're using an SMT without any context whatsoever, this could just be that ES is the stronger asset today and it's making higher highs and it's making higher highs and it's going to eventually bring NQ with it, right? But if I'm working within a bearish PD array, within a bearish day, or within a range that is looking to now reject the highs, that's a different context than if I were to have none, right? So here we have equities open. So here we have equities open. So now in this particular scenario, I think I would prefer to see lower at the moment. I would ideally like to see some sort of a sweep of this low or this low here, because then that way I'd be more than happy to frame an order block from these lows. And then if it doesn't, that's okay. The concept and the idea of it, not the pattern version of it. I love what it was. Yeah, I'll go. For big breakers, strong prices. Another thing to highlight is that MMXM not always have two reaccumulations. A lot of times, especially in lower time frame, there's only one reaccumulation. Yeah, absolutely. Not all of them are going to be equal, right? Didn't even notice the masses of SMT on the high got formed a few minutes ago. Surely got to retrace at least. Yeah. So I still believe that we seek a little bit lower, sweep some form of liquidity, and then I'll be able to kind of look for an order block from there. That could be optimistic. So yeah, here in this particular case, again, like sweep of this low would be nice, or sweep 672 would be also nice, and then we can look to target the highs. So I have to see some sort of fair value be offered initially, because I have my variable number one, which is my original consolidation, already marked out here, and so now I'm just looking for that second variable, which is going to be my order block. So that's number one, and now I'm just seeking number two. Another note to be taken though is pre-NFP day could be a small range day. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Didn't pick the best day to be honest. I didn't even take that into consideration when I scheduled my stream. I was just like, let's do it. Agreed to BH. I originally wanted to target higher towards previous week high. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have the same idea as you. I just have to see some sort of fair value be offered first. Yeah, I wanted to be a part of it. So I'll outline a few things. Oops, sorry. I don't want to spend some time on the 1 minute chart. Trying to stay away from that. I'm still in these shorts from earlier. That's why I'm kind of biased. Still bearish, but I can't be completely delusional. Yeah. So something like this would be nice. That's kind of just what I'm seeking. Snaps. The human factor can't be drawn from a trading floor, which makes trading so amazing. The fight of the price action and the trader's emotions. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's what makes it so hard and difficult, right? Pretty large opening range on ES. Whoops. Sorry, I know this chart. It's a completely change of pace. Okay, so looks like we're seeing pretty strong reaction here. So now we'll see if price decides to continue to the downside and then sweep these lows, or if it wants to head out. Great stream. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Are your entries always on the 5 minute? This year they have been. Not always, but majority of the time. Foul mode. I did. It was 5 second. Yeah, before that, yeah. I had a time. There was a time in my life where that was the case. And keep in mind, guys, I am gonna have the what I was kind of just discussing. I do have it in a file format, so I'll be kind of sharing that and talking through it later on. But what I'm kind of hoping for here is that we get a real-time example, because there's nothing better than a real-time example. So, but yeah, I'm a changed man now. 5 minutes, unbelievable. I know. So we had that little sweep there of that 840 low, a little bit of internal action, reborn. Yeah, a little bit of internal action there. It's just funny because the 1 minute chart isn't obviously like the 5 minute chart isn't as exciting. Like if I go over to the 1 minute, it's like, oh, seeing all these prints, so much action. You come back to the 5 or the 15 and it's like, oh, that's just a wick. So all within context, right? All right, time frame takes precedence. Any questions? I think now's a good time to kind of stop and discuss. Let 930, 945, kind of let it do its thing, let it print. And then we'll get into the presentation a little later. So here, kind of what I'm observing is I'm looking to see if that 6 a.m. opening price is willing to hold towards the downside. So if we were to see some rejection, it would have to be here at this price point. Now, I know that we had a bit of a rejection here after sweeping that low, but I'm still kind of hoping for a deeper retracement, seeing as I want a larger pool to be taken in order to seek my order block. I've lost audio. Anyone else? Yeah. I think
I can still hear fine.
I'm good. I think so. Yeah.
I think you're good.
You're good.
All right. Cool.
You're good.
So yeah, not really doing much. Still within the range of that 9:30 5-minute candle. Seeing kind of what it wants to do here. Alex, what do you think of equal highs, equal lows as a form of liquidity on NQ? Is it fake or real? I mean, there's definitely some truth to that because I do think we tend to draw towards those equal highs and those equal lows. But more so, like the importance of it is that make sure that those equal highs and those equal lows are in the direction of what you're expecting the higher time frame candlestick to print. Like that's the most important. Damn, this is a slow open. This is a slow open. That's unfortunate.
It's a classic on the first stream in Escape. Everyone gets the
really?
consolidation chop at open. It's always like that.
Why does this happen?
The OGs in the chat know it. The first time with the engineer was like that. First time of Cobra was like that. First time of Future Code, everyone had it like that.
Can't with it.
10 a.m. should be fun though.
God. Engineer was on Thursday for F2, I think.
Yep. So I guess to talk about this too, when you see this, what keeps you disciplined not to just want to get involved? Because we were talking about this a few streams ago where, just live to fight another day instead of just getting in. And I know that your method is extremely refined now, but I also know we have had plenty of conversations where we share that absolute just addicted mentality to like I need to be involved. And
yeah,
I don't know if you want to take the chop time to sort of go over how you got over that or
no,
how
for
you
sure. I mean I'm still victim to that, I don't think I've overcome it 100%. I think I'm still victim to that. I just think now it's like you're weighing out your options, right? I've had days, and I know this resonates with some of us, where in the past, right, it's like we're trading an account, whether that be an eval, live, whatever. You're trading your account, you blow it, right? And then as soon as you blow it, you had a plan. And let me restart. You had a plan in the morning, right? You come into the morning, you had a plan. You go outside of your plan, you blow your account, you come back, and it looks like the plan seems to be working out. But now you literally can't do anything because your account is blown, and you're in a position where it's like now you just have to watch what your original plan was. Like you just have to watch it print, and you're like regretting not having that account because it's like, damn, I could have had that, right? But to me, it's like if I'm trading a live account, for example, it's like how can I preserve that? How can I preserve my capital to the point where it's like as soon as I see what the plan was originally, like I can just press the button and let it do its thing, because I've seen it do its thing. Buy a new one right away. God. because I've seen
Can't
it.
say I haven't done that before.
No, I mean we've all done it, right? Like why BS? Sorry, I need to keep it PG. Why why BS? Why, right? Like why lie? Like we've all done it. But then so think about this, right? Like, and I think about this, and I think, for those of you that trade prop, whatever, there's some firms that have that daily drawdown, right? I think having a daily or a limit to your drawdown on the day is important, right? I think having any risk parameters is just key because it'll help you kind of identify some of your weaknesses. Like for example, let me see if I can pull this up. For example, if I have, let's say, let me get rid of that green. Plus $10 day, plus $10 day, plus $10 day, minus $50 day. That puts me at a net minus 20, right? Whereas if I had a risk, a daily loss limit on that fourth day of, for example, 20, that would leave me at a net green of 10. So I think of, it's like, what kind of price action could lead me to that minus $50 day, right? Is it even worth me being involved? Or can I just wait potentially for the next day? I mean, the time is going to go by regardless, right? Time is going to pass by regardless. Damn, are we finally flying out of here?
I mean, I was waiting for 10, but damn.
She's strong. That's wifey.
That's wifey. Careful, because Trump is over there now. Wifey, kinda. Kane's beloved midnight.
Yeah, there's midnight. Do you ever use correlations between YM and ES? No, just ES for SMT. And even then, like, it's mostly just higher time frame. So there's midnight, tap into midnight, see if it wants to go for these highs. Didn't get that retracement that I wanted, but that's okay. Call it risk behavior control of your percent risk loss out of the trading floor. Yeah, for sure. There have to be some sort of parameters, and that's because, I mean, we all know how we act when we're on tilt, right? Like, we all know ourselves too well to the point where we know exactly how we're gonna act. We know exactly what we're gonna do. Yet, despite that, we kind of still do it. So, it isn't necessarily. I mean, it is just a human factor, right? So having the parameters there are just to kind of help minimize that damage that you do. But then it's also important because after time, a lot of people ask, "Oh, how do you develop discipline? Like, how do you get so much control? Or how do you improve your discipline? How do you not get FOMO?" It's like, that's not a change that happens one day to another. And unfortunately, one of the common things in the industry is that people don't really share in terms of, like, people share in terms of, like, on paper what could potentially work, right, when it comes to building that kind of discipline. But the reality of it is that we need exercises. Like, there has to be something that we can put in place that'll help us develop that discipline. And so, yeah, that's something that kind of I would love if the industry kind of brought it more into light. Like, can we, self-awareness out of self-judgment will open the acceptance in order to control it with not self-conflicts. Yeah. But then also, you want to have some sort of exercise that you can do on a daily basis, right? That'll help you develop that discipline. And so one of the things is How can I make myself more self-aware? How can I make myself more self-aware? And that's through obviously reflection. But it's like if I put a daily loss limit in place, right? And I reach that daily loss limit, and that could have potentially been a day that I go on tilt and lose more than my daily loss limit if I didn't have it in there. At least now I'm seeing what kind of benefits I get from that daily loss limit. It's like, oh snap, this daily loss limit actually, it was beneficial. I could have easily, my emotions were not in check. I could have easily gone off the rails, but I had my risk parameters in place. So let me start following more of my rules. As soon as you're able to follow one rule, instead of beating yourself up and trying to follow 10 rules at the same exact time, try to follow one rule. And as soon as you see that following that one rule benefits you in the long term, you'll start following more rules. Does that make sense to everyone? Don't force yourself to try and immediately just change one night to another, because that's not going to work. But start with one rule, and as soon as you reap the benefits of that one rule, you'll automatically build that correlation. It's like your mind is like, oh snap, like this is good. This is good for me. So I know we've all had those days. It's like, oh, we go on tilt. It's a huge loss. Huge loss. We lose accounts. We're like, oh, I'm such an idiot, right? Like, I'm so dumb. I could have done this. This was the trade that I should have taken. I should have, right? But yeah, small steps are way easier to take. And in the process of taking those small steps, you'll already inherently develop that discipline that you need. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I was talking about those eating habits earlier. It's like if I can build better eating habits all around. And commit to it. Train your mind to trust yourself, because you constantly break your own rules. You'll struggle to trust your trades. Yeah, for sure. So, what is it? Yeah. You can't can't force yourself to put multiple things in place when you haven't trained yourself to follow just one. And what else? Any questions? Any questions? So yeah, a good exercise or a good something to have in place is that daily loss limit, and I think that made a huge difference made a huge impact in my trading, because it just made me realize it's like a longer term vision is so important. The market kind of punishes those people or the market punishes the participants with really short term vision. And that's just the ugly truth. Can't let the short term blind your long term vision, because then eventually you're going to want to end up taking short term decisions that will impact you in a negative way.
It's not even 10 a.m. This thing is already ripping.
I know. Let it rip.
Let it rip.
I love you and Q.
That tap on the 5 minute we just had back on the single bar was
Yeah. Sad that we
gorgeous.
didn't get the retracement, but
I know.
at least we had the right idea.
Where's the S? I can hear Kane screaming in my ears. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Stuck at 6,100. Yes. I'm assuming. Wow.
SMTZ.
Wow, wow, wow. I love NQ, but had to trade CL. Man, what is CL looking like these days, to be honest? I used to trade it. Good lord. Would you take a short? Pairing orders to bulls just started. I just got out of short. Hell yeah. From where? CL moving. Yeah. It has its times, just like NQ and every other asset. It has its moments to move. 9:56. So 10 a.m. open coming here soon.
There's 10 o'clock IV PMI.
Oh, there is
Medium impact.
Forex medium impact.
CAD. Sorry, I'm reading that wrong. 10:30 natural gas, and then 2:30 we have FOMC member Waller speaking.
2:30 later today.
Yeah. So they'll be playing with the close.
So we had that short retracing to open, to 6 a.m. open, and then midnight is kind of rejecting here. So I'm curious to see if they want to keep this in between this range or if they just want to continuously drive it higher towards these highs.
So much uncorrelation with the S right now. It's in
Yeah,
two different worlds.
it's ugly. 30-minute close as well. Yeah, we have that 10 a.m. 4-hour open, so we'll see what it does. Well. See if we can get below. What does this want to what does this want to look for? Uh, 10 a.m. open in 24 seconds. See what it does. Took a long earlier. Hell yeah. Curious to see if we get a reaction out of this low. That'd be nice to see. Sweep it that low. Seek higher. Get to above these highs maybe. I'm observing this candle here, or this group of candles. It's definitely a point of reference that I would like to see hold. And then price can kind of seek higher from there. So now I'm looking for kind of a close above this. That'll kind of tell me if price wants to continue higher. Nothing yet. Took a long. See how I'm moving right now. Oh, sorry, Lungers. I didn't even open this chart. We'll give it a few more minutes, and then if anything, we'll get into the presentation. What's ES doing? Sorry, I know. It's a dark chart. So a bit of an SMT here. Yeah, with these lows, yeah. So ES is kind of dragging down right now. Dragging his ass.
think we just lost Alex. Right. Let me try and call his phone. Okay. Well, everyone.
Sorry.
The power went out. Alex's, so he's booting back up. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Talk
Just
to
give
him.
it like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. We'll wait for you.
Sorry, bro.
No problem. No problem. All right, he's booting back up.
I mean, during these times of chop, basically, I'm looking at ES, me personally. We're basically underneath sell side, Nasdaq's not. So until there's change state delivery, they're just gonna basically keep chopping. So that's the way I see it.
The uncorrelation is crazy, though, to be honest. I haven't seen it like this in a minute. Shut up, Lush. Shut up.
Let him know, and I'll reschedule another one for next week.
All right, lads. There's an outage, so we've been cucked. Alex is GG'd.
I'm out of power, bro.
He gone. Well,
No, I'm gonna call my energy company to come get it fixed.
all right. Well,
Damn, no, I'm so sorry. I feel horrible.
you're good. You're good. You're good.
I actually feel horrible.
Send some love in the chat for Alex. He tried his best. He got into an outage. He'll be back. You're getting love. All right, ladies and gentlemen, officially just out of power. So we're going to have to reschedule. He's going to be back for the presentation that he wanted to present today. But I guess this is a sign to just cut it short and not get involved into this price action on a day like today. So let's just be careful. Thank you for tuning in. Alex says that he's sorry again. Nothing he could do. Speaker went off, price moved. I'm telling you, there's a curse on the first stream. I'm telling you, that's all it is. 100%. Yeah. All right, Josh, unless you have any closing remarks, I think we're just going to end it here and then reschedule for Alex for him to be on.
I mean, I'm just chilling. I'm looking at some price. I mean, if we get like a couple people saying that they want to stay around, then I'm down to talk through until like let's say 10:30. But otherwise, I would agree. Like just a couple of people say they want to be here. A couple of people say they don't want to be here. I don't know. All right, let's just see. Drop like a one in the chat right now. If there's like more than 20 people saying that they want to stay here, I guess I'll give some commentary and what we can go through. All right, I feel like that's at least 20 people. All right, well, pull up your charts. I'm basically looking at a quad box of basically the RTH. I was watching how basically ES was underneath that sell side at the time that NASDAQ wasn't, and I was pretty much alerting that. I said until we got that change of state delivery, we'd chop, and then NASDAQ got the change of state delivery. And then basically from there, ES started to peel. So yeah, I think that was pretty much the quick 10 o'clock SMT move, if anybody saw that. So I just sent a photo in the chart, a photo of my chart in the chat. You guys can kind of see what I was looking at. So NASDAQ was basically making that higher low inside of that RTH gap. At the time, ES was making that lower low. And I said that ES was underneath that low or sell side and just wanted to see a change of state delivery. So NASDAQ now made a new high. So that low that's at the RTH, like I would say that pretty much all the protective stops are pretty much there. So everybody and their mother stop loss. Not that you should be, again, not financial advice. This is literally my own opinions, but everybody and their mother's stop loss and where retail would pretty much jam it up now is at 780. So. And as long as ES now stays above its RTH CE, which is basically 96 and change state delivery on the 5-minute, it's still going to basically hold higher. That doesn't mean that it's going to go higher. It just means it's going to hold until it goes higher. Because that's the profile that it's in. NASDAQ about to hit an NWOG CE. 839. Yep, wrap. That's exactly right. Like the darker portion is the unfilled portion of the RTH gap. So the moment this ES candle close on the 5-minute, anticipating some level of retracement. NASDAQ at its CE of its NWOG. Alex is just sending blessings to all of us. He just feels bad, so there's not much you could really do about that. If the power's out of your control, it's out of your control. Yeah, it's definitely give out some XP. So give member. I'm gonna give you 100 XP for those notes. I think you could do a little bit stronger notes next time, but I'm gonna encourage you to keep going. If anyone else has notes that they want to share, that's awesome. So those are just his checklists and then one insight of a point. So wrap. Take some better notes. That's what I'll say. Not that the notes are bad, but just take some more notes. So NQ's just dancing around that CE. Pretty much have your retracement here.
Okay, I just closed what I was working on. Let me share my screen here if I can. Oh, it doesn't let me. Do I just leave and rejoin? Is that what it is?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, if you want.
Let me try it out.
You have the streamer role. I mean, you shouldn't need it because it's your server, but
Yeah, I think that's it. Honestly, I think that's it. No, I do have it. It doesn't let me. All right, let me actually hang up.
All right.
All right, let's see it. Cool.
Now I was just trying to put a body over the CE of 39. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see that. Anyone wants to share this, share their charts though. In terms of
Yeah,
the
this
chat.
I was looking at the. I really like the 1 15-minute fractal model for T trades. Usually, when I see that printing around the OR, it's really nice. We had one beforehand too. I think we had like 2 consecutive ones back to back that I was looking at. Yeah, so we had like these 2 back to back, which I really liked. The sweep here that we were looking with Alex. But again, we're just kind of like chopping between the 2 ADRs. So looking at the stop mode would have been the correct manipulation area to look at. Still valid, but I didn't hit T. You're talking about this one at the bottom right that I have? Or if you're sharing your charges, let me know. Yeah, that one is midnight, but this happened at 7 a.m. So it was during the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle. I don't trade that time. So I could potentially have a bullish bias, like Alex said, off the open. But I didn't have any criteria to trade, and I was coding until about 3 minutes ago. So I'm really just giving it an in-depth look. Not right now. I just had this in front of me. The template is already in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. External resources. You can look in here. It may be a little bit different. You just have to scroll a little bit up, I believe. It's in there. It's like my scalping template. But it is a little bit different than the one that it's saved, just because I've just preferred to use the midnight stat map, for example, compared to what I was using before. I was using the 4-hour before. The rest should be pretty much the same. But yeah, the uncorrelation with the S is just crazy. But what Alex was saying, relative equal highs up here, original consolidation got hit. So right now I'm just kind of looking to see if they just push it forward and somehow trend, even though we have news this afternoon, or if they just decide to retrace back into the range and just chop and seek sell side after taking this buy side from the midnight open and overall current day high.
So they went above the CE that I was looking for, and they came back below, and now they're just basically retesting that same level. So it's pretty much that grind chop, which again, if you're not patient, it's a little bit challenging.
I'm just gonna switch back to neutral and see what this 15-minute does. I'm basically looking at this 15-minute creating a swing point. So like, yes, we tap this and we have an expansion. I am looking for a little bit of retracement perhaps. So seeing this swing high get swept and now closing back into the range at this time of the day, just monitoring that to see if we can get a retracement back and see if this 50% of this 15-minute candle holds for continuation. There's imbalances on the 5-minute. I'm just kind of looking at that, knowing that ES is just so uncorrelated. 50% is getting slammed. That's what I was talking about. Back below midnight. Change instead of delivering the 50-minute would be pretty massive.
So, I mean, kind of called the retracement at the level, told them to kind of just be patient, chop. So, I mean, right back to the CE. Everyone stops. We're at the 80.
$10.30 coming up. So we're halfway through this 1 hour candle. We opened what looks like a manipulation down, moved all the way back up here. Now we have this, the open of that 10 a.m. just holding it. A little bit of a do or die moment. $30-minute candle is looking fucking awful. $10.30 coming up. Where are the news? Oh, we got sanctions. Interesting. I'm just waiting for 10:30. I want this 15-minute close to just give me some more info. Is there anything that adjusts the overnight range gap? The regular trading hours gap? Yeah, it's right here. Dynamic RTH. Only yesterday it looks better because NQ is just awful, but right there. Draws the gap. This is your overnight session. This is the close from the previous day. Here you go. And the 50-minute looks even snazzier.
We just created a new feature. Just dropped a new feature that you could also see the developing RTH as it forms, which is really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
So if you're in the pre-market session, you can see the RTH gap of what it's expected to be. Pretty fascinating.
Alex is back.
Alex is back.
I do not forgive you. I really do not forgive you, but it's fine. I still love you. Now we got the bearish candle too. We didn't close below the open of the previous 50-minute. But we're back below midnight. I don't know if Alex is still here, but he called that move to a T. We didn't quite get the retracement when we wanted it, but that was still beautiful.
Those are the 80 stops right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OR line in the sand. You see how we have also fractal model like conflicting with each other. You got a bullish, a bearish, like you were just rating liquidity 50 minutes after 50 minutes after 50 minutes. So these are the environments where like I have the most fun because I hate trends, but also on a day like today, not ideal. Yep, pretty much like that. How do you reveal the templates? Oh, you mean the titles? You can do it here. You do the status line, and then you just do indicator titles, and they'll show up, and then you can change your settings or whatever you want. Otherwise, you can just double click on the indicators, and you can change it. I like chub, but not completely sideways. Well, I'm with you in a way, I guess. Okay, how many people use Bookmap? Because every time I look at these charts, I just want to, like, puke. It's so difficult. Like, help me. Help me understand. It's mostly just the price chart. Like, the DOM slash liquidity histo whatever on the right, all clear. But I just would never be able to trade using the chart. Like, I feel like I'm having an aneurysm just looking at it. But I'm not shitting on who doesn't like it, don't get me wrong. I'm not judging it. Just don't get it. The visual DOM is nice. It's really nice. All right, if we get back above midnight, I want to see continuation with speed. If midnight just keeps slapping this down, then it's GG. Yeah, sure. I hear you with that. Oh yeah, I bet. I just, you know, I'm more familiar with the things I build, I guess. I'm sure it has its merit, yeah. Just not really looking to learn new stuff, I guess. All right, so now I want to see midnight holding us up. Basically, I want the failure of this short, this bearish fractal model. So I want to really see it just come up here. I know there's a massive imbalance here, but I want this to basically get invalidated for continuation, because midnight is just being a pain. Just looking at ES. If this stuff loads.
It's crazy how they run the 80 stops and then they just go right up, huh? That's
Well,
what
I
a chop
mean,
will do.
yeah, exactly. I'm just playing the chop too, because ES is also just fucking weird though. So we just go back above in premium. So if they are to go back in sync now, they should just send it to hell. But again, I want to see us start closing above this EQ of the 15-minute for continuation and just go to the highs. If they give it to me though. Only if they give it to me. Here's the close above. Run, baby, run. So notice this now. We're back at the, that's not what I wanted to use. Here. We're back at the high of the dealing range of the previous 3 hours, right here. Yes, if we look at it, top back into a discount during this hour, and now we're just back into the premium side. Whereas in Q, did not touch the equilibrium, S&T, and now it's going to the highs. $10.40. If we do retrace, I don't want it to go below. I want to see like immediate rebalances here on the 5-minute, on the new 5-minute, but I don't want to see it go below. I just need this order flow to confirm if we are to go higher. This 15-minute chart is fucking awful. What is this barcode? It's not entirely promising, but as I just said. Jeez. Well,
Yeah, it probably shows me that I'm gonna probably be done after this now because
yeah,
I guess the wire's pretty hot, so I don't really know what they're saying, but the volatility's moving now, so looks like all the stops are definitely swept though now at this point. So
yeah. I mean,
could literally
this is kind of where I
you could just
like to
envelope.
get.
They could
Huh?
just wear like envelope it basically now. So it's like they've already done damage to buy side, sell side, and now there's like the day before NFP, so they can literally just barcode even more, and that's even like worse. So
Is Mr. President tweeting? Is this what's happening? Or doing some shit? I need to know before I just push buttons into a Trump tweet. Gracefully not.
I'm gonna laugh if they just go right above it. I'm just gonna laugh, bro. It's
The
the
30-minute
Trump
chart
era.
is hilarious.
The Trump era, honestly, because what they are doing is they're basically creating like very small like quote unquote devil marks or whatever. And then it's like the moment that that happens, because it's a pure repricing. I mean, the HFT algos are just fucking slamming the fucking bid. And it's just because we're in a bull market and we're also more or less still like higher time frame, very, very bullish. So that's why you're still getting a couple of these like crazy like V-shaped recoveries. But to say the least, you know, they do a couple more bad tweets and they actually create, you know, a larger change state delivery, you're going to see that these V shapes aren't going to be so V shape. And that's what I think that we were also talking about last night on the cookout.
Yeah. I mean, it's also
So, like they can only bid them up for so long as the higher time frame order flow stays in sync. And if the higher time frame order flow gets out of sync, then that's when these flash dumps are just going to actually start cascading so much more stops. Like instead of let's say 70 points, you're gonna actually see like 200, and then like that's when people are gonna get scared about circuit breakers again, and you know that's my opinion on it. So when the V-shape recoveries stop V-shaping, uh, anybody that's on this call is gonna remember this conversation.
yeah, I've about 7 minutes, and then I am just logging off and not touching a button. I don't even want to trade this macro.
And they're just chopping. They swept both sides now, like I said. So it's really just getting more liquidity involved. The only way to get more liquidity involved is to engineer it where within the defined dealing range. So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just still conscious of the fact that NQ took the highs, and there was a SMT. So after seeing the opening range hold like that for way too long, you can fill in the blanks.
mm-hmm.
Basically, this candle for me is very important. Muy important.
The Trump era.
People laughed at me when I said that I wasn't gonna take trading seriously until Q3.
Nah.
Real talk, though.
No, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I hear you too.
No, I'm just saying. The Trump crypto time just really scarred me, like big time. That was a doozy. Like, look at all these little HFT prints. That's fucking unbelievable. Okay. Let's see if they take
All
these
right,
little.
guys. I think I'm pretty much done with the discussions here. I hope that you found today's stream insightful. The dog shit price action on the 5-minute is indeed dog shit. If you're a scalper and you like going on the seconds, then power to you. I don't advocate that, but that's what I also enjoyed to do. So, if you guys stay safe, have any questions in the general chat, want to send a ticket, anything to that nature, just let us know. We're here to help. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna wait these 3.5 minutes, and
No
if my
problem.
partial is not hit, I'm gonna collapse my position because I'm not interested in this macro whatsoever.
No problem. All right. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
if they attack this rejection block, I'm out. Okay. Here we go. Cool.
All right. Be safe, everybody.
Be well. We'll talk soon.
Take it easy.
New stream tomorrow. I appreciate you all coming in. Alex got robbed by power. GG. But it is what it is. All right.
Much love.
Much
Much love,
love. Be
everybody.
well. Peace.
Bye bye.